Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you tuned in this evening. I have been off for a couple of weeks, but I am here. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a happy New Year. Hope you are working on your resolutions. I hope you are moving towards being a better 2025 than 2024. I know I am. I'm so glad to be here doing Autumn is Here. As you know, I ended the year in a comedy show. I did not do the comedy, but I produced the comedy show for caregivers. It was wonderful. We had a great time. People came out. I appreciate everybody who came out, who bought tickets, people who donated tickets. I appreciate that. All the people who were there and the comedians, the hosts, the people on the cameras, the sound people, people who were working the doors, everybody. I really appreciate everybody who was working hard doing the show and helping me out. I so appreciate that. And it came out wonderfully. We got to see people who are caregivers. We got to give them a little thank you. We got to share with them about my podcast and how my podcast is a resource in case people didn't know that. We got a chance to put a face on caregivers, to see different caregivers and to let people know that we're here, they're here, and we see them and we appreciate them, we love them. Caregiving is something that happens. It's not a medical condition or anything, but due to some medical issues that may happen with your loved ones, it is something that we need to talk about, and we need to talk about it not only in our community, but with healthcare professionals. Healthcare professionals need to be more aware and more conscious of it, and maybe send people to social workers ahead of time or in advance so they can learn more about possibly being a caregiver when they see that their aging parent or is in need of help. So we're hoping that we can also educate healthcare professionals just to get more involved. So that's why we talk about it. There's 65 million people in the United States that are caregivers. Whether you're a caregiver to your parent or to your spouse or to your child, you're a caregiver. If some disability happens, if some illness takes over and you have to step in and give them support, you're a caregiver. But caregiving, people don't talk about it. And I don't want it to go away. We need to talk about it. Things don't go away because you don't talk about it. Things get dealt with if you talk about it. We want to let people know that caregivers is something that is happening right next to you. Your neighbor, your person in your family, somebody, your friend, somebody at your job. There are caregivers all around, and it happens just like that. Becoming a caregiver, it's remarkable how easy you can become a caregiver. Anything can happen. And at the time, you may not be prepared for it. So that's why we want to put a face on it. We want to talk about it. We want to keep the lines of communication open. Autumn is Here as a platform for people to talk about different things in healthcare, but also for caregivers to share their story, because we want to talk about it, because to be a support to someone is more than difficult. It's so many things that are involved when you become a support to someone, when you have to take care of someone, when you step in. While you're stepping in and while you're doing it, there's so many things that you go through, emotional, physically, psychologically. There's so many different things that are affected. Time management. Time management is a big thing. Now you have someone else that you have to think about and deal with and work in their schedule and get into their doctor's appointments and different things like that, and schedule your time, whether it's personal or professional. Your job may be affected by it. So it's so many things that are affected by it that I don't want to stop talking about it. I want people to realize that it's here, and it's better to understand that it can happen to you, because if you know more things about it, because we're talking about it, then you might be able to prepare better and make better decisions. But we are going to need people to support us and to need help. And the more people know about it, the more people can be sensitive to what you're going through. Sometimes you can't get the help because no one even understands how much it takes to be a caregiver. So that's why we talk about it. We want people to know how much it takes and how much the sacrifice is. Acknowledging that now you have someone else that you have to take care of. So acknowledging that and sitting down and kind of mapping it out. And sometimes people are embarrassed by it. Sometimes people just carry a heavy burden on it. You know, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's actually something that's rewarding because you're able to take care of someone that you love. So it is actually something that's rewarding. Now, it's difficult, but it is rewarding. And going through it and going through all the sacrifices that you have to do, sometimes it can wear on you, not only frustrate you, but it can affect you physically. So, caregivers, you have to take care of yourself and don't neglect yourself because you have to be well if you want to take care of someone else. So, we also want to just say that, thank you to all those who take care of people who are caregivers, that it's your job to do it, that you work as a home attendant. We are so appreciative of that because everybody doesn't have somebody, everybody doesn't have family, and you need some professionals to work with people. And even being a professional, it gets weary sometimes, it gets troublesome sometimes, and it gets overwhelming sometimes. You meet different people who have different needs, who may not even want you around, they may not cooperate. They, may give you a very hard time, or you have to adjust, different things to them because they don't know who you are. And home attendance sometimes gets changed over and over again. Different people come and people get frustrated and they get confused and they don't like that. So if you're there, you get the brunt of that. So we want to say thank you to those who work in home care and who are helping others who don't have the help that they need from their family members. And we also want to make sure that everybody understands that, you may take care of somebody for a long time, and there may be a time when you have to make a decision, and to make a decision to either put them in a nursing home or something like that. And if you have to do that, it's really difficult to make that decision. And sometimes, that may be the only option. If that's your only option, then that's what you have to do. But when you are living with them and then you put them in a nursing home, you have to deal with how you feel after that. Sometimes you feel guilty. Sometimes you kind of grieve in a sense because they're not there anymore. They're not there for you to take care. You feel like you have something to do, and they're in a facility where they're being taken care of. And when you come home, they're not there anymore, and you have to adjust to that. You have to adjust to that time that you spent with them, that you gave them. Now you have it for yourself, but you still have to be able to look out for them. Remember, when your loved one is in a facility, you have to go visit. You have to go see them. You have to let people know that you are there, you care for them, and you have to ask questions. Ask questions. Anything that you see that you have a question about, maybe out of line, or just, you just want to know, please go there and ask a question. So please make sure that, you understand that it's not easy even when they're in a facility. It's not easy. You worry about them also. And then you have to deal with what happens if your loved one passes away. If your loved one passes away, and how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the grief? How do you deal with getting back to yourself? How do you deal with your time now? What are you going to do? Do you feel lonely because they're not there? Have you lost a lot of your contacts because you were busy doing what you had to do, and now people have moved on with their life? The frustration with that, trying to start anew. There's so many different things that you have to deal with if you lose your loved one. So we just want to make sure that that we see you. We see you, we love you, we care for you. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to talk about it so we can deal with it. There are so many different support systems out here. Know that you're supported. There's professional support systems out here. If you have to get counseling, especially if you've lost someone. If you have to go to therapy, if you have to, get involved with some faith-based church or something, please do that, whatever it is to help you to get back to yourself. Even when you're going through it, the support that you might need from day to day, don't neglect that. Remember that it's okay to take a minute for you to breathe and get support. So my comedy show was just about having us put a face on caregivers and having us have a good time. And caregivers want to laugh too, and some people did bring their loved ones there, and it was wonderful that they brought their loved ones there. We just want to make sure people realize that, you know, if your person that you love, whether it be your grandparent or your parent or your spouse, if you love them and they needed you tomorrow to take care of them, something happened and they needed you tomorrow, would you be ready? Would you be ready for the unexpected? The hardest thing in doing Autumn is Here is to convince people or to get people to aware that this can happen to them at any time. At any time. You're never going to be fully prepared, but the more you know, the more you'll be better prepared to help yourself and to help them. So that's what we wanted to talk about, and that's what we wanted to show people. And we're hoping that you tune into Autumn is Here. We're going to have some interviews coming up and some people talking about different subjects that are very interesting. So please continue to tune into Autumn is Here. Please like, subscribe. I need you to subscribe so it helps to get more people. It helps to get better interviews if you subscribe, because of course they look at all these different things. So please subscribe if you have people that you know, neighbors. I don't care if they're your family members, neighbors. Just hit that subscribe button, listen to the show, pick out whatever you need to listen to by the title. If there's a subject that you're interested in, pick out what you want to listen to and listen to it at your leisure when you can on YouTube, or you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. But please listen, because this is important. We need people to know about this before it happens to them. We also want to educate healthcare facilities and places, because we want doctors and healthcare people to understand that it's important to inject that into the care. Let people be aware that maybe, it's time to talk to a social worker because your parent is deteriorating rapidly or something is happening. We want them to say that because you don't know it. You don't know it. You're going there for your parent, and because you're going to be the caregiver, they should say something to you, because you're going to need the help. You're going to be the one to step in. So we're trying to do that too. We're trying to educate the healthcare system also on how important it is to have caregivers, and to, also hopefully maybe the government will be able to put some other things in place that will help people to be able to take care of their parent or something while they're home. Maybe they'll be able to do some things where it'll make it easier for them financially, to help them to take care of their loved one at home. So please continue to tune into Autumn is Here. I appreciate your support. I appreciate just the questions and everything that people give me and ask me. I thank you for being here for 2 years doing this. I also have my 2 cents. I do that on Thursdays after we do a show. If I interview someone, after I do a show that I interview someone on Thursday, we go live and we talk about the show that we just had, and we get more involved in it, and you can ask questions then. So please tune into my 2 cents on Thursdays, and that's alive, and listen to Autumn is Here. Every Sunday, we'll put up a new show. So please listen to it. Please subscribe. I need you to subscribe. Just tell your neighbor, tell your friend. People ask me, what do you want me to do? I want you to subscribe. I really do. Because it needs to be out there. Even if you don't need it, someone else needs it. So that's what I want you to do. So we're going to start this year. And we're just going to be positive, and we're going to know that this is going to make an impact. And that's what I'm going for. I want this to make an impact. I hope it helps many people and many families. And I hope it, just take it as far as it can go. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Good night.